Hey guys, Jostes here. Right now I'm at Pesche's Flowers, the garden center where I worked when I was in high school. So check out today's video to see an interview with my first boss about what it's like to be the third generation owner of a family business and the new technology that Chris is using to massively increase his profit.
It's a show about social media. It's a show about business growth. It's a show about internet marketing in the form of a video.
All right, folks, here we are at Pesche's Flowers in Des Plaines, Illinois. I'm here with the third generation owner, Chris Pesche, who was actually my boss about 15 years ago when I was in high school. I worked at the garden center for spring and summer for about 5 years. It was a really great place to work, and I'm excited to interview you, Chris. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Jack.
You know, you guys have such a tremendous history in the area, and it was really a great place to work. So first, thank you for, you know, giving me a job and bringing me back when I did work here.
You know, we I don't want to say we raise, but we bring in a lot of young kids to start here. It's a lot of them, it's their first job, and it gets people out and with other employees their same age, and it's great for the community, and it's great for the kids that live close to us.
Yeah, it was great, you know, and I learned a lot about hard work, working with you, working with Frank Pesche, your dad, and I did everything from I'd get here early and clean the toilets and mop the aisles and sweep and water plants, and then, you know, eventually help people put plants and manure and compost or whatever they bought.
Loaded people cars. Yeah, carry out.
Carry out was where it was at. So that was a really great opportunity, and thanks again for having me.
Well, that's one thing my father did believe in, was you learn every job in the business. Start, like you said, sweeping, the cleaning the restrooms, to loading people's cars, and then you just keep going up the ladder from there. So it worked out great.
Yeah, it did, and you know, and eventually, you know, just being here, I learned more about different plants and different product that was here, and was able to help people when they came in.
Correct.
And
knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge
is
is king. And look at you now.
Yeah, so now we work with landscapers and arborists, lawn care, garden centers. I help them get found online, and that's really what this video blog is all about, is helping the green industry get found online and grow their business. So I wanted to, you know, interview you.
No pun intended?
No. Sometimes, right? But what I wanted to interview you about, you know, was what's it like to be in a family business? Tell us, you know, short history of your family, right? You were, before we started the interview, you were telling me that your family's originally from Luxembourg, and they were growers back there.
That's correct.
And when just tell us a little bit, how did the nursery get started? So
my grandfather actually came from Luxembourg in the about 1900, 1899, and being flower growers, him and Mr. Leiter and Mr. Amling, which are all big flower names here in Chicagoland, all Luxembourgers. They more or less were all partners, and they started growing roses for the flower shop. Cut roses, cut carnations, and then, like anything else, you want to develop and come up with your own ideas, so you start your own business. And so back in early 20s, my grandfather started this location in 1924. It started off as maybe a 4.5 acre facility, and now we're up to 8 acres altogether. But my grandfather, you know, it was more or less a farmer, floral grower, and then from there we took it to where we are today. Still have the original greenhouses in back, Foley greenhouses from 1924. They've just been retrofitted and sort of brought up to times, but you know, history is huge, you know, for us. So from there, my father came around and his 10 siblings. And then my father had 7 sons, and I'm the baby from number 7.
Wow.
And so I'm here taking over the business, which you learn at a very young age how to work, like you said. And so I've been actually working here since I've been 7 or 8 years old.
Wow.
And probably because of my grandfather and my father, they started child labor laws, I think. because
right.
you know. But when you're a kid, you enjoy it.
Sure.
You know, it's not about money and it's not about anything. It's just about helping the family business, which for us was very important.
Absolutely.
You do what you have to do to get by.
What would you say is the same now about what you know about the business from the 1920s? What's the same about?
Well, you know, it all comes down to, I mean, customer service, helping your customers, respecting your customers, listening to your customers. You don't always agree with your customers, but you know, to the best of your ability, you have to smile, grin, and bear some of the negative stuff. But you learn. You know, this is all a learning process. Every year we're thankful that we get another chance, especially in Chicagoland, to do the season over again, because you always learn from the previous year what could have been better,
right.
What worked, what didn't work. You know, hopefully, you know, you pick up the pieces and you move on from there.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Customer service is king.
Customer service is king, and treating your employees. So that would be number one or number two in anyone's book.
They're up there for sure.
Because if you don't have good employees that represent your business, then one bad egg could spoil, you know, your name to a lot of people.
Yeah, and that was one of the things, you know, I appreciated about working here was you guys gave me a raise, right? I came back.
Yes.
I was excited to come here. You guys have sweet polos now.
But
I was always excited to get the hat, the new season's hat and shirt. You guys changed the
colors.
colors.
We'll get you one of those before you leave.
Yeah, that'd be great. I was always looking forward to get those, but you guys did take good care of us. And you know, customer service. I remember when I was working, you know, helping people with plans to their cars. Some of them paid us tips.
Yes.
And so I learned a lot about how to talk to customers,
yes.
And not that we were expecting tips, but we learned that if you talk to people a certain way, they had a good experience, you would get more tips.
And people that shop in the garden center, not to say that it's necessary for them to give you tips, but it's a happy place.
It
is. You know, people are here buying flowers and plants. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. And then when you help them out to your car, you might have a little tear in your jeans or something, and they say, "Oh, look at this boy! I better give him a couple dollars. Sure. You know, he could buy some clothes."
Right.
But no, it's customers. Our customers are wonderful here.
Yeah. You know, my family we were customers all growing up, and I remember always having that calendar in our kitchen with the flowers and things, and I was excited to hear you guys still continue the calendar. That was something that we always looked forward to.
What was nice was, and here again, as far as marketing goes, you always have your name in front of the customer 12 months out of the year.
Absolutely.
So the calendar,
even in, you know, July, August, September, when it's slow,
exactly.
Right, you're still keeping in front of
people. People are looking at the calendar and they still see your name, Pesche, and think. And we're fortunate. Not only do we have just a garden center, but we have a full-service flower shop. So the flower shop really gives us great business throughout the whole season and year.
So, you know, taking care of customers, taking care of employees, those are things that, you know, I think are just staples in running a successful business. Yes. What would you say is the biggest thing that's changed, you know, from the time that maybe when you were a kid, or even since I stopped working here 15 years ago?
Technology.
Yeah.
You know, technology is huge now. Even and it doesn't even have to be technology with your POS system, which we upgraded back in 2007, but technology with filling flats and filling pots, where before everything was done with shovels and hands and safety goggles. You know, now everything's done with 60 cubic foot bulk bags, flat fillers, pot fillers. Mm-hmm. So, you know, one of my philosophies has always been work smarter, not harder. And so if you can accomplish the same thing in less time, and a lot of it is thought process. You know, with my father and grandfather, they were pretty much straight and narrow, which we did this every year and we're not going to change off from it. But sometimes you have to veer off that beaten path a little bit and you really find out, you know, there's more than life than working so hard.
Right.
So if you can make anything in our industry any easier, especially for yourself, I recommend it 100%.
Tell me a little bit about the inventory management and how is that different, and what has been the benefit of the new way that you're managing inventory?
Well, back in 2007, right before the economy crashed for us here, and we felt that 2008, 2009 were scary years.
Sure.
But back in 2007, we implemented a new point of sales computer system, and it's 100% inventory control. So yes, you have to make purchase orders, and yes, you have to go through and keep everything upgraded. But at an instant or at a second, a click of the mouse, you can see exactly what you still have on hand. You can see what's selling. You can see what's not selling.
Right.
You can make immediate changes. The 8-inch pots of geraniums aren't selling at $24.99. Let's mark them down to $19.99. And that's just green goods, but you have the same thing with pottery, with chimes, with any of your inventory in a store.
Sure.
You just need to be able to make the time, which is very difficult in the spring season, and go through and actually see what's selling and what's not selling. In the past, we used to have a buyer that's just, the salesman would come in and say, oh yeah, give me 10 pallets of potting soil. Well, we still had 10 pallets down in the warehouse, but he didn't know, and he was too lazy to go check.
Right.
So right now, you could actually set a mock order up, and you set a limit, and the computer will actually tell you what you're low on, what you need, and it just takes any guesswork out of the whole principle.
Was there any resistance from either other family members or other people who work here to make the shift to that?
There's always resistance.
Sure.
I had one cousin of mine say he was going to break it because not only did it do inventory control, but it did dispatch and delivery for my flower shop. So if you're doing 300-400 deliveries, it routes everything, it points everything out. But here again, you have to follow the procedures and do everything correct, and it just makes your life easier. But when you're a little hard-headed, sort of like we've always done it this way, why change? Well, for the simple fact you can work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're writing everything down on paper and someone calls you from 1000 Jefferson Street and you have to look through 20 pieces of paper to find out, hey, where's that delivery for 1000 Jefferson Street? Now you just point and click on that day and say, oh yeah, here it was. It was delivered at 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it saves you a ton of time and
exactly
allows you to get more done and be more profitable.
More profitable, and then you also have a record, and you don't have all the paper trails. Everything's just stored right in the computer system.
Yeah. Wow. Well, what are some of the sales and marketing lessons that maybe over the years of running the company that you might share with some of our other green industry business owners?
Well, as far as sales go, as far as putting stuff on sale, I mean, we never try to put stuff on sale at the same time every year. People aren't stupid, and they'll know if you have a Father's Day sale and perennials are 20% off, they're going to be waiting